Hello and welcome to the Meaningful Nonsense Podcast. This is episode 16. This is a special one. It is our Avengers Endgame review. Pay close attention to when you're listening. We will tell you when spoilers are about to happen. Thanks for listening.
Welcome aboard!
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Meaningful Nonsense Podcast. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but we got him back.
The man.
He is
the legend.
The legendary Dolan Branch. How are you doing, Dolan?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm good.
You doing real good?
Real tired.
I mean, because we all work today. And we're filming this podcast with the dog barking at 10:30 p.m.
10:30 p.m., that's a new record for lateness, and there's a good reason.
Guys, we're just going to go ahead and get into it right now. The reason that this podcast is being done is because we caught in old Norman, Oklahoma, the 6 p.m. showing on Thursday, April 25th, Avengers Endgame.
The opening night, of course. The very first showing of the opening night, we were there.
We stood in line. Actually, there was no line. We got there with ample time.
2 hours early.
We got to pick our seat exactly where we wanted. I want to go ahead and preface this situation with, aside from the movie, which we're going to get to soon, because we have not spoken to each other about plot points.
Not really. I mean, nothing.
Nothing.
The whole car ride here was painful.
We ate some Taco Bell. I got Taco Bell's signature drink. I'm ready to go. I'm amped. We have not said a word. I don't even really know, besides once, that I said that was a good movie.
It's just, once, just to get it out there.
And we're going to go down the line.
And this podcast will contain spoilers, but
not yet.
Not yet. So
we will not let you listen to a spoiler. We will tell you when spoilers are coming.
And if you have any intentions of watching the movie, I would leave when the spoiler section starts.
Absolutely. Because we can only review it and give our opinions for a short amount of time. This would be a very short episode if that was going to be the case. But this is not. We did not get Dolan back to just give you a 10-minute podcast saying that was a good film.
We didn't. No, we didn't.
We didn't. We're going to dive in.
We're going in.
But that will come, and we will let you know. We will let you know once we finish recording this podcast when to stop watching. May even be in the title. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I do know. I know.
So here's the deal. Dolan, we're going to start with you. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. What would you give it?
There's no scale for what I believe that movie was.
Off the scale?
There's no scale for it.
It creates the scale.
It is beyond the universe that it is in.
Yeah.
The infinite.
Yeah. I tend to agree. Obviously, this is initial reaction, and we just watched maybe the best film I've ever watched. And I mean that.
He's coming out firing.
Did you say maybe? Because I know it's the best movie I've ever watched.
Boom! This is why he's here.
Yeah, I want to note a few things. It was maybe the most fun movie theater watching experience that I've had.
It indeed was the best crowd.
Absolutely.
We had a Miles Morales dress up
Spider-Man who did backflips at the front.
The crowd was lit, and there was maybe 6 empty seats.
Oh, and that was because I think that people who were gonna go saw the crowd and said, "Nah, we can't sit with each other, so we'll just buy tickets to another showing."
Yeah, and
possibly.
Here's what I'm gonna say about the film. It was good. It was great, and it was a film for the fans.
Oh, yeah.
It's obvious when you watch it, and it was obvious just listening to those fans bleed Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah.
We did a podcast where we ranked our favorite universes, and you know what? Mine was Marvel. My number one was Marvel.
And I would like to say, if I was going on my movie critic, putting on my face, my movie critic face, my review would be simply this. All of the films that we have seen, that we have devoted
10 years,
much of our life to, this movie culminates into the greatest movie I've ever watched.
It is unequivocally the only movie that has exceeded the already high expectations.
Yeah, it was.
For 10 years of culmination, it put a bow. It wrapped it up and put a bow on it.
It did
so well.
Anthony
just
and
perfectly.
Joe Russo,
the Russo bros.
They may be the greatest directors in this generation.
So let's rewind here.
Okay.
Endgame follows the events that take place in Infinity War. We all know that. If you're listening to this podcast, you've seen Infinity War. Because if you're not into the MCU, I'm sure you're not going to listen to this podcast.
I wouldn't expect that.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't expect them to even make it through the first few minutes.
Unless they're just a fan of the show.
Yeah,
then they might.
You like hearing us talk, and then in that case, cool.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. All right, here's the deal. Half, if not more, of the Avengers are gone. The heroes that we know and love from other films, such as Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is gone. He's whisked away. It's more. Basically,
Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. Basically, besides a few of the other characters from the entire MCU, you got the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
The original plus 2.
Mm-hmm. Rocket, Nebula, is that it?
And then everybody else is original.
Yep. So, here's the deal. Infinity War, fantastic, grabbed you by whatever it grabbed you by.
Infinity War was really good.
It was awesome. It just ended sad.
And it did. This was maybe twice as good.
Oh,
and Infinity War was good.
Yeah, Infinity War was a blockbuster.
Everybody
loved it.
Already my favorite movie, and this one just exceeded that.
Yeah, it just crushed it.
And it's hard when you've just watched the film and nothing is said in it. It's hard to see anything but what your favorite thing about the film was.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't find much wrong with the movie.
No, I truly watched.
Yeah.
With is there something that I could poke a hole in?
Yeah.
And for me, as a fan, as a person who likes to watch films,
and
has watched a wide range, it wasn't just because of the nostalgia of 10 years ago. I loved Iron Man.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. I went to the theater, went with a group of friends that I don't know any of them where they're at in this world.
Yeah.
And we loved it. It was like, wow, Marvel is here. It was already Marvel. I mean, come on. But that movie kicked off the love affair that I have with the Marvel movies.
Maybe it's too soon to say. Is it your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe film?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
I said it's my favorite film.
I honestly would have a hard time putting any... I mean, obviously, when you go cross-genre, it's a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Because when you go cross-genre, it gets dicey. Because the movies are just totally different. But it is my favorite film. I'm a huge Star Wars lover. I even like the Disney ran ones that people are divided on. Yeah. Talking to you, Cousin Peyton. You're not listening, but I'm talking to you if you ever listen. I love them, but nothing compares to this movie.
Yeah,
it's got everything you want.
Very few, if any, holes left unfilled. Yeah, it was very well done all around.
Yeah, being spoiler free, there's just nothing that you can say that you could poke a hole into.
Yeah.
It wrapped up every question you had going into any movie and coming out of Infinity War.
And it really... the fans from the start that started the journey 10 years ago, they're going to appreciate it the most, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And when whatever happens with the next phase, is it as good?
Yeah.
Is it better? Yeah. Who knows? I find it hard to believe you're going to be better for reasons.
Very hard. Because there's really only one villain that would be able to surpass Thanos. And how they would implement Galactus, believe it or not, people, would be very hard. I don't know how they would do that.
Yeah, so anyways, we're 10 minutes in. We've
gotten
the initial reaction. We're just going to go ahead and dive in, folks. This is the moment where you cannot turn back. You cannot turn back.
There's no going back, because
if you listen,
like the first few sentences will likely spoil something.
Oh, absolutely.
So
the things that I have ready to say in my holster, my speaking holster, my mic is going to be lit on fire, literally. Please, heed our warning. Close the app. And don't listen to it until you have seen Avengers Endgame. Alright?
Just give them a countdown, maybe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Not Iron Man! No! I did not think they would have the gall to do it. I thought it might be coming.
Alright, obviously the biggest surprise of the film, Iron Man's dead, folks.
He ain't coming back.
But it was so perfect.
Oh, absolutely. It was 100% beautiful.
It ended his entire career with Marvel.
Yeah.
And the 11-year stretch that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe started with I Am Iron Man and ended with I Am Iron Man.
Yep. That was one of the more moments of the film where I about lost it.
Oh, everybody lost it there.
Easily the most emotional piece of the film.
And there was plenty.
Let me just tell you. Oh, no. This is just one moment of the film we're dissecting.
Yeah.
He wields in his hand the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
A mere mortal.
Yeah, a mere mortal.
And snaps Thanos and his entire army away.
Yeah.
And it is one of those moments where you're just like, it ends.
I mean, obviously, if you're going to put to death Iron Man, it's gonna be in a sacrificial way.
Yeah, because he is Iron Man.
He's not just gonna go meaninglessly.
Yeah, no. He saved the universe. Thanos can now never come back.
Yeah.
And he got peace.
Yep.
He got to see his father in 1970 and actually have a nice conversation.
Absolutely.
And looking back, you can see the foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah, you can.
I didn't see it at the time.
I didn't at the time.
The movie starts out, actually, early in the film with Iron Man or Robert Downey recording a little dialogue.
Yeah, it did. It foreshadowed it at the very beginning of the film. So, all right, let's go ahead from the beginning. It opens. No scroll yet.
Yeah.
Just a quick start.
Nothing, no.
No, it went preview to film.
Yeah.
No warning it was coming. On Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye.
And
Clint Burton.
Here is sad moment number 1.
Yeah,
immediately.
The film immediately takes no prisoners.
Yeah.
It is him teaching his
family.
daughter to shoot an arrow.
Yeah.
And his sons and his wife at the table. There's a comic.
Yeah, there's a nice little joke about
mayo on a hot dog.
Hot dog. It's all happy. It was too happy.
You knew it was coming.
We knew it was about to happen.
And
absolutely.
His daughter shoots a bullseye. Of course, he's Hawkeye. So it's only fitting. And then he looks away at his wife and sons. And then looks back to his daughter, and she's not there anymore.
Yeah, and it's super good how they do it, because you don't see it. You don't see them wisp. You just see that little bit of ashes. Yeah. You just see it, and you know. Obviously, we know.
Yeah.
The audience is very aware of what happened. So, sad, you see Hawkeye, you're like, what in the world?
Yeah.
You knew it was him. You knew it. Because Hawkeye was nowhere to be found. He was on house arrest.
Yeah, same as Scott
because
Lang.
of the Sokovia Accords.
Yep.
And it set the tone and kind of carried the tone, obviously, from the ending of Infinity War forward.
Mm-hmm. It did. It got you back into the feeling of Infinity War.
Yeah, the thing that the two movies did was they carried more emotion than any of the others.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The weight of the film from the very beginning to the very end of Infinity War, it's not lost.
Yeah.
You know it's high stakes. Yeah. You know half of all creatures in the entire universe, not just Earth, the entire universe, which through Captain Marvel you see that, she protects
the entire universe.
The entire universe. So then right after that, it cuts to Tony, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Tony leaves a message on his...
it cuts to Tony and Nebula playing flick football.
Yeah, which is funny.
Which is a
nice moment. You kind of see a little bit of
transition from
humanity.
the sad moment.
Yeah,
and it just
a little bit of which Avengers, all the films, do a wonderful job of balancing heaviness and laughter. Yeah. They really... The sad moments or the action-packed moments or the moments with a lot of impact... They do really well.
Yeah.
And then their comic relief is done in a way that's not...
It's done... It's well-timed.
Yeah, exactly. It's well-timed to the point...
Forced.
Yeah, it's not emphasized in a way where it makes you go, that's out of place.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, funny. But, they're playing... You see a little bit of humanity from Nebula, which you start seeing in Infinity War, but it's really apparent that she's changed from the cold-blooded machine killer that she is in Guardians. Yeah. So here's the deal.
What?
Captain Marvel saves Tony.
She does. A bright ball of fire appeared.
Almost when hope was lost. Tony's about to run out of oxygen and
Tony was malnourished.
Yeah, he was thin.
Very thin, dehydrated and whatnot.
Yeah.
So immediately we're wondering, okay, so now that Tony's back with the Avengers, what's going to happen? This is the first time he's seen them. He's the first time that they're even mingling about Doctor Strange.
People, I guess, forgot. It's the first time he's seen Captain since Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're mad. Or they're not mad.
They were.
They're indifferent to what happened, and now they're just...
Yeah, it's kind of petty at this point.
Yeah, they lost half of their friends and family and everything.
Obviously, Iron Man has lost Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge deal to him because he looks like him as a son that he doesn't have.
Yeah, he does.
But speaking of which...
Yeah, so, okay. They reunite. They use Captain Marvel. That Nebula knows where Thanos is going. They get the band that they have left.
So, the band would be Thor. Oh, what we forgot to say, and I actually predicted correctly, we got to see Professor Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Which, for those of you who don't know the comics, Professor Hulk is the perfect combination of Hulk and Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
It's Bruce Banner's brain with
Hulk's abilities.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. He's got like some facial hair and looks like
Mark
Bruce.
Ruffalo.
And when he's on screen, you kind of just stare at him.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
So he's a part of that gang. So it's Captain Marvel,
Thor,
Hulk,
Scarlett
Johansson, and
Natasha
Captain
Romano.
America, and Thor. Yeah, we already said Thor.
Mm-hmm. Rocket.
And Rocket. Actually, it was everybody but left. Hawkeye and
everybody left.
Iron Man.
And that's the gang for 90% of the movie.
Yeah, 90, it really is.
95 probably.
So here's the deal: they go to the garden that Thanos is in. After they mention that Thanos has used the Infinity Stones again, and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, when they get there, they see Thanos with his body barely alive.
Picking some kind of weird fruit.
Yeah. He has indeed destroyed the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
So their hope is just shot out the window. They have no idea how they're going to do this.
Which this being, they think if they can get the stones, they can undo this.
Yeah. They're going to figure out a way. Because Thanos is obviously weakened. If they get the stones, here we go. They realize that he has destroyed them.
He used them to destroy them, and then they kill him with ease.
Yep. And Thor says, I aimed for the head.
He cuts his head clean off.
Yep, Thanos is dead. And you're wondering, how in the world is this going to happen? Not only do they do a time jump.
5 years.
5 entire years has gone by from the time Thanos has wiped away half the universe to present time.
And in that 5 years, I actually foreshadowed it a little bit. Pepper and Tony have a daughter.
Yep.
Named Morgan, which he had a dream in Infinity War that they were going to name the child Morgan.
Strange.
And that came true.
Strange how well the continuity in the MCU is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
So 5 years pass. Cap is trying to do his thing where he helps people cope with loss and this new world, which government's crashing. There's really no infrastructure. I mean, half the population is wiped away.
Yeah. It does. It looks very gloomy.
Very gloomy.
A post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, literally so on point that there's no more Mets.
Yeah.
In New York.
Yeah.
The sports teams are gone. Pretty much all the joy in people's lives are gone.
What's left of the Avengers has been reduced to just
the original plus 2
little petty tasks.
Or 3, actually.
They're just policing at this point.
Yeah. We actually forgot one, and this is where the time jump really takes the turn. Ant-Man gets sent back out of the quantum realm.
Yeah, and it's funny because a mouse,
a rat,
accidentally hits the button. Because at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, you see that Hank Pym and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, and Ant-Man's girlfriend, Scott Lang, he's stuck in the quantum realm. To him, it was 5 hours.
Yeah.
But
5 years went by. He comes out, obviously shook. He thinks his daughter might have died. She hasn't. He goes to see her. She's 5 years older. Yeah. He's wondering what the frick is going on. So his first instinct is to go to the Avengers.
To that point, there's a monument of everybody who is known to be missing. Yeah. And he actually sees his name.
Yeah, and that's what freaks him out.
Yeah, so he goes to see if his daughter's there.
And she is,
the house,
wow.
And
my
she's
dad's alive.
And she's like 18 now at this point. Maybe, I don't know what her age is. Yeah. And then he just goes back to the headquarters of
Avengers.
The Avengers where headquarters. They go. And
obviously, they're looking for anything. They have no scraps to go on, really.
Nothing.
But when they see that he's somehow returned, like, what happened? I was in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Where
to y'all it was 5 years, but to me it was 5 hours.
And in that time he spent, it's a mini universe. Yeah. And when you're in the quantum realm, you're not in the actual universe. So he wasn't affected. And anybody who might have been in the quantum realm wouldn't have been affected, which obviously they're not.
And that's where
physicists like Hank Pym.
And that's where he came up with the idea that
maybe that we can time travel.
Yeah.
We can jump through space into a time where Thanos didn't have the stones.
So,
which is
go ahead.
Exactly what I thought would happen.
Yeah, I think that wasn't really a surprise. I was a little bit surprised that Thanos was killed with ease early in the film.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, this is weird. He really just wanted to end like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a huge titan.
And then once he was dead, it felt like
he lived his purpose in his mind.
His one and only goal was to rid half the universe so that the other half could
flourish.
And and he had nothing else to do, so
might as well die.
It didn't. He was
I'll die.
He was basically half dead anyway.
Yeah.
when he was dead, there was a stretch of like, wait a minute, who's the villain? What? So the point is just to get everybody back to life?
Yeah.
But
is that all the movie's going to be about? Now, Thor goes off the rails. A lot of the comedy in this movie resides in Thor's character.
A lot of it is Thor Ragnarok-ish, and it's because it's Thor.
Yeah. Because that's the best Thor to me.
It is.
Speaking of Thor, maybe I just missed something, but why can Captain America wield Thor's hammer?
Those who are worthy can lift and possess the power of Thor. And Mjolnir...
Is that, like... somebody else wielded it in Infinity War. Was it Thanos?
No, it was
Vision.
Vision.
And what?
Because he's void of evil.
In Age of Ultron,
yeah,
he lifted Thor's hammer.
And Captain America moves it.
No, he possesses it.
Yeah, he does. But remember, he moves it.
Yeah, he nudges it a little bit. Yeah.
And Thor's film? Like in Avengers.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Age of Ultron.
Oh, that's really when it is?
Yeah. That's when Vision comes into play.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. I got the movies confused with one another. Yes, makes more sense. He moves it. So, and Thor's like, what?
It's because Captain America is just
void of evil.
Good person.
Yeah. He's worthy.
And
when it comes to fruition, because he needs it, and Thor.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we will. So at this point in the film, they're starting to
devise a plan on
how to time travel. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. They need Tony.
They need Tony. He resists.
Yeah.
But classic. Classic Tony Stark. He's got to figure out if he could.
Yeah.
So he builds a model.
And
he has some failures.
He goes through his first run and he's like, we'll see what happens. And actually, his first run is exactly
really? I thought it implied that he did more than one.
No, he was like, let's try it out.
Oh, and it was the first run. So he builds a model.
He thought it would just take forever.
Yeah.
He literally says...
He builds a model in the classic Tony Stark itch.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Sets in, and he leaves Morgan and Pepper, and they go to the Avengers base. They devise a plan. There are 6 stones.
Well, they try some stuff with...
the Hulk. With Bruce Banner.
The Hulk Bruce.
Yeah, with Bruce Banner being the lead, which he's admitted that he's not good at quantum physics.
Yeah.
But he can. That's not his specialty. But he can do some. They try, and that's another comedic part of the moment with Scott Lang coming back as a baby, coming back as a kid, coming back as an old man, and then it's funny. Well, at this point,
Tony shows up.
Yeah, Tony shows up, builds a classic Tony Stark device that's way more complex than it looked like on his initial mock-up.
Yeah.
And they devise the plan that they're going to get the Infinity Stones. They wonder how they're going to do it. They look for ease. So at one point in the entire MCU, which you don't think of when you're in each movie, but there's an Infinity Stone, at one time there's 3 in New York.
The first Avengers,
2012.
Yeah, the first Avengers with Loki's
Tesseract,
the Tesseract, and the Loki's sphere. Or spear.
Well, the Tesseract
powers that. That's right.
Yeah, there's the
Time Stone.
Time Stone, yeah.
Which we find out Doctor Strange, his mentor, has it, but Doctor Strange is still a doctor
at the time because
he doesn't have the Time Stone yet. Yeah,
before he becomes Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so that one, the Tesseract, and
the third one in New York.
Yeah, what is the third one in New York?
There's the one in the staff.
Yeah, that's a separate one. No. Yeah, because then they grab the Tesseract, too.
Wait, no, the Tesseract
and then there's the one in the briefcase.
Yeah.
That's the 3, right?
Yeah. Loki's Cypher, or whatever it's called, is a separate stone.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit confused on what was what during that.
Yeah, because they were using old movies, and you're wondering, where's this all coming from? And you're having to, was that in Avengers? Yeah. You kind of have to go back and forth, but they add in stuff,
and that's
that
why
maybe we wouldn't have seen on camera.
When I say it's a great film for the fans, that's why. It's because they take you back in time through all these different key moments in the Marvel Cinematic Universe history.
Not a cipher. Scepter.
Let's get a Google real quick.
Yeah, I'm Googling it up.
Just to get it clear what's going on, we're going to Google it up.
So, it had the Mind Stone.
What?
The scepter. Loki's scepter.
And those were both in the same building. And so, something I just missed, again, when Captain America was in the elevator and took the briefcase, what did he say that was so hilarious?
It was, what had happened...
The crowd erupted, folks, and I missed it completely.
Captain America... So, the people who took the Tesseract at first were supposed to be S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
That's what
they had... It had happened to be that they were Hydra.
So that's what leads into Age of Ultron.
And Captain America, in his first movie, he's trying to defeat Hydra. So when he is like, hey, I spoke to the secretary, I'll be handling the briefcase.
Yeah.
And they didn't really think that was going to happen. He grabs the briefcase and whispers, Hail Hydra.
Oh, okay.
So the Space Stone is the Tesseract. The Mind Stone is Loki's scepter.
Okay.
The
Reality Stone is the Ether.
The Ether, which is Thor Dark
World. Power Stone is Guardians.
Mm-hmm. Power Stone is Guardians. That's what Star-Lord gets at the beginning with an
That whole movie's
about that stone. Yeah. That's where you really get an idea. Time Stone is Doctor Strange. Yeah, Time Stone. The Soul Stone, which you get by giving up
Volmir, which you give up a part of your soul.
Mm-hmm.
In this case.
So that's it. Yeah, and there's 3 in New York at the same time. Well, in that, so you see each Avenger that's left. Hawkeye, Natasha Romanoff, go to get one.
Yeah.
Loki, Thor, and Rocket go to get one.
Yeah.
Captain America and Iron Man and Ant-Man go to get 3.
Yep.
And what ends up happening?
Hulk goes to get the Time Stone.
The Time Stone from
in New York.
Wise
in
one.
New York.
What's
I can't remember her name.
Here, I'll look it up.
Yeah, look that up. So Hulk manages to get the Time Stone with relative ease. Obviously, a little pushback at first, but when he says Doctor Strange gave it up, she realizes, oh, I've got to give it up.
Yeah.
Because she says something.
Yeah.
And
Bruce Banner.
The Ancient One.
Yeah.
Because the Ancient One says that Doctor Strange is supposed to be the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had once wielded the Eye of Agamotto. And so she could see what was supposed to happen as far as she could see. You can't see past your own demise. So for people who don't know, she does die in Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So she says, well, if he's the best of us and he gives it up, then I've got to.
Essentially, that's what she said.
So she gives it up. Bruce gets it with relative ease. Tony and Captain America, which I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but they lose the Tesseract.
They get both of the stones.
Yeah, they get the scepter with pretty easily.
Yeah.
But Ant-Man takes it back, and Captain America and Tony have to use the Hank Pym particles to go another
to 1970.
Time. So they time travel within their time travel to 1970.
Yeah.
To go where the Tesseract was. Because Loki stole the Tesseract because there's some time travel mischief that happens.
What we didn't specify is they only have 2 goes at it. The one to the place they're trying to
and the one
go
to get
the
back.
stones and the one to get back.
So they have to go to 1970, where not only was there the Tesseract.
No, it's just the Tesseract in
and
1970.
the Hank Pym particles.
And the Hank Pym, so that way
they were at the same place at one time.
Yeah.
So they go there. Captain sees Margaret.
Yeah.
And Tony sees his dad.
Well, talks to him for a while.
Mm-hmm. And that one ends.
Another bow tied.
Yeah.
On the Tony Stark.
Because he got to see his dad again.
He got to see his dad and have a pleasant conversation and actually...
Yeah, and knew that his dad really did care.
Yeah, because he says he doesn't want his son to become like him, but of course we all know he does.
Yeah.
And he said he'd do anything for his son.
Mm-hmm. And
Tony's dad thought.
And Cap, you just know that he's longing.
He just really wants to be with Margaret.
Yep. Well, anyways, they get theirs with difficulty, but they get it. So while all that's going on.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say so that they've got them all at this point.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hawkeye and Nebula are on.
No, Hawkeye and Scarlett Johansson.
They don't have them all yet.
Oh, yeah.
Nebula's with War Machine.
Yeah, with War Machine. All right, I'm going to go into that one first. Meanwhile, Nebula and War Machine are on the planet that Star-Lord gets the stone.
Mm-hmm.
They walk right into it. Nebula uses her machine arm, grabs the Infinity.
Yeah,
they have to knock out Star-Lord.
Yeah.
They have to knock out Star-Lord, which is hilarious, because you see him, and what you don't see in Guardians is he's actually lip sync, or not lip sync, he's singing on the outside. We only hear the music.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because they play that up and Chris Pratt's singing and he's like, come and get your love, come and get. And it's funny. Everybody laughs and then they knock him out, of course.
Yeah.
Well, in the middle of her about to phase back to present time.
Yeah.
She has a glitch in her computer because Thanos put her together. She's like a machine almost. She's barely.
So it explains in Guardians that she was whatever creature she was, but because she lost to Gamora so many times, Thanos enhanced her, and now she's just a machine.
So her she has a cache basically of her memories and such is connected because at this same time Thanos was looking for the stone.
Yep.
And Nebula is bad.
Yeah.
She's still evil at this point. She hasn't went through everything that gets her to the point that she is now. Well, they have like a sync to each other.
Yeah.
And Thanos sees the entire plan.
Yeah.
So you think Thanos is dead, but he's in past time learning about the present time plan. Yeah. Sees that he dies. Sees that he gets all 6 stones.
He doesn't care that he dies because he knows his destiny was fulfilled.
His destiny ends when he dies because he did what he was supposed to.
Yeah.
In his eyes.
Yeah, in his eyes. He's a sick, twisted, purple alien.
It's the best villain ever, but...
Yeah,
Purple
very
boy.
good. Purple boy. That's what we call him here on the Meaningful Nonsense podcast.
King of the big chins.
Yeah, huge chin. Lines. Lines for days.
Lines.
So...
He's seeing everything.
Yeah, he's seeing everything, and you know it's coming.
And he knows that all the stones are going to be at one spot.
So they figure it out, and during this sequence, Nebula poses as the good Nebula.
Past Nebula poses as future Nebula.
Yeah,
and goes back.
And then now we need to go to
the future.
Vormir.
And now we're at Vormir, which is the Soul
Hawkeye
Stone.
and Scarlett Johansson.
And here we are, folks. You know the story. Thanos throws his daughter off to lose a piece of his soul, sacrifices her to get the Soul Stone.
And so it's Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're great friends.
And one of them has got to die.
Yeah, you know at this point, one of them is being thrown off the ledge.
And
they kind of fight.
Honestly, I had
no... they fought each other because
the other one wants to do it.
Yeah, because they didn't want each other to have to sacrifice themselves, but wanted to sacrifice themselves for the other one.
Yeah. I honestly didn't know for sure who was going to go.
I did not in that moment. I was like, how could Jeremy Renner...
Both of them made sense.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, because...
he had a family that he was coming back to if they succeed.
Yeah.
And that's what I was about to say. He has a family he comes back to, and ScarJo, she sacrificed herself for her family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because her family is the Avengers.
Yeah.
Well, they say, I think maybe it's, who is it that says, does she have any family?
Yeah. So
Well, we're
she
her
dies.
family.
She ends up dying.
Yeah.
Hawkeye gets the Soul Stone. Well, obviously, her and Bruce. Sorry if I messed up with buttons.
No.
Natasha and Bruce had a thing.
Pretty intense at times.
Well, obviously, he gets the Soul Stone. Well, as they all phase back.
Yeah. They all get back at the same time.
With Bad Nebula in tow.
Yeah.
All the stones.
All the stones.
Tony builds his own Infinity Gauntlet. And puts the stones in
and they decide who's going to wield it, and the radiation is the same that courses through Bruce.
It's gamma radiation, so they chose Hulk.
So Bruce says, "I'm going to do it."
Yeah.
Now
he's Professor Hulk. So
Professor Hulk.
Puts it on.
Yeah. Struggles.
Wields it.
Yeah. Snaps
his fingers. Undoes it.
All the half that was gone is now back.
Yeah.
Which
and you don't know yet. It's Scott sees birds.
Yeah, which
he looks out the window and he's like,
Hawkeye sees Laura, his wife.
Yeah, his wife Laura calls, and he's like,
so they know it worked somewhat.
Immediately. Because Bad Nebula was there.
Yeah.
She was opening the portal.
Yeah.
To get Thanos past Thanos.
Yeah.
Into present.
Right. And succeeds.
But he shows up. You knew it.
Well, hold on. You knew in that moment, wait, if everybody's back, so are the heroes.
Mm-hmm. But you don't know why. Yeah, you
they're not going to show up instantly.
No, they don't.
But anyway.
You're wondering, like, what the fuck is going on? You got Thanos here. And a lot goes by. He blasts the entire Avengers to oblivion.
The headquarters is demolished.
Honestly, don't know how any of them survived it, really.
Yeah. If you had one gripe, it's like, I don't know if they would have survived that. But they do, because they're the Avengers. They're superheroes.
Which, I mean, sure, Thor
would have.
And Captain America,
Ant-Man,
Captain America's enhanced.
Small. Yeah.
How Hawkeye did, I have no idea.
That was a tough one.
Everybody but Hawkeye was like...
Well, because he ended up in a tunnel. He just got lucky, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's his thing, since he is just human.
Anyway.
So here's the deal. Thanos is just chilling.
He's just trying to get the stones.
Takes a seat and sends
takes a seat.
Future Nebula after the stones.
Yeah. And good Nebula is in the ship.
Yeah.
And gets past Gamora.
Yeah.
Nebula knows how to say, hey, Gamora, you're good. Like, you get over this. We become friends, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she obviously turns again because she hates Thanos.
Yeah.
Good Nebula from the future shoots Bad Nebula. Yeah. And Hawkeye escapes with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Which is used, but the stones are still there.
They're intact.
Because they have to be there, otherwise fragmentations of different timelines could converge and just screw up everything that they are trying to do.
Because they've messed with a lot at this point.
They have to keep them intact.
Yeah, and then they need to get them back where they belong.
Originally, yes.
Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. All the Avengers get out of the rubble.
Yeah.
And Captain, Iron Man,
Thor, and Iron Man.
And Thor, who's Fat Thor, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Thor goes into a depression type thing of how he wishes he could have done better and killed
for those
Thanos.
5 years.
Yeah, he's wallowing in sadness of how could I not have done better?
How could I not have aimed for the head?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. How could he had a shot and didn't kill him?
Yeah.
They're fighting. They're doing pretty good. Thanos doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet.
No.
Last time they fought him, he's had a stone.
Yeah. So they killed him with ease, but 3 on him couldn't take him down. Why is that? Was that just...
Well, Thanos was half dead.
Is the idea that he was
used.
Gimpy?
Because he used the gauntlet twice.
He already did what he needed to do, so he didn't really care.
Yeah, I wasn't really fighting back.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
I guess,
but also he wasn't.
He was basically limping and
Mm-hmm.
abused.
Yeah, he used the stones twice, and you saw what it did to Banner once.
Yeah.
Even if you're a celestial alien like he is,
Yeah.
he's like almost his own.
He's a Titan.
Yeah, he is a Titan. So, he's not as powerful because he doesn't have the stones. At this point, his army is upon us.
Yeah, he launches his army.
full-on
Well,
assault.
actually, before the army is one of the best moments in the movie. He is actually essentially doing the same thing that Thor did to him in Infinity War, stabbing Stormbreaker into his chest.
Yeah.
And Mjolnir.
Yeah, because Thor gets Mjolnir back because they went back in time.
Yeah, they went back in time.
And Thor found Mjolnir because who breaks it? Is it Thanos?
No, his sister breaks it in
Oh,
Ragnarok.
yeah, that's right. And Ragnarok...
Hela breaks it.
Mjolnir, however you pronounce it. I can never...
Mjolnir.
It's destroyed.
Yeah.
So Thor's without a weapon.
Yeah.
And then in Infinity War, he forges
Stormbreaker.
But he gets Mjolnir back. And he's got two weapons in this fight.
Yeah.
He's using both.
Yeah.
He's locked in, man. Thunder is coursing through him.
So now we're to the point where he's getting stabbed in the
Stormbreaker
chest.
is getting stabbed into Thor when all of a sudden Mjolnir flies by. Captain America is wielding that biatch.
Yeah, and he launches an attack.
Yep,
and not to mention, he
assault.
actually possesses the power of Thor. He has lightning for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is amazing.
So
my heart is racing.
He goes all Captain America, and he's using the shield and Mjolnir, and he's just defeating Thanos single-handedly.
Wonderful choreography and
And then Thanos fights back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so at this point,
destroys his shield.
Mm-hmm. And Hawkeye's running away with the gauntlet. It's in plain sight. Thanos can see it.
Yeah. Then at that point, you really had to question: Is this how Captain America goes?
Yeah, I'm thinking Captain America's gonna die because he gets some punches. Thanos gets some punches in on him,
and then
yeah,
he finally has his army back. Thanos does, and he turns around, and the will of Captain America is he's lifting himself up with what would
strength he has left, because Thanos has
he's defeated everybody that he could defeat in line of sight, and is the only people he was actually fighting.
It's looking pretty glim.
And Cap with
they're all getting beat,
and Cap with his half broken shield and can probably barely lift Mjolnir just because of his strength is lacking, is when it happens.
What happens?
The army, they're staring down an army that they're gonna all die again. Thanos is gonna win.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, Doctor Strange
opens a portal.
You see a portal open,
and then in comes every character you begin to see. Every character's coming. Black Panther shows up.
I think he was first.
Yeah, he was first. I think they were the first three. They come in.
Yeah.
Guardians.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybodyody there.
They
Obviously,
pretty much
I don't
all
have to
come
go through the
their
list.
own portal.
And they get their own army.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange comes through, and he's talking to his buddy. What is that guy's name? No, I don't want to say sidekick, but his counterpart.
Yeah, Wong.
Yeah, Wong. Wong. Doctor Strange says, "I thought I told you to bring everybody."
Yeah.
Like, you wanted more than this? And it's basically every single super being.
It's
all of Wakanda. It's just wonderful. You see Peter, and in a few minutes you see Tony finally embrace Peter. Yeah. Pepper is in a Iron Man suit.
Iron Woman suit.
Bucky.
Yep. Everybody. It's just everybody.
Who's the red Vision's girlfriend?
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch is back. Everybody's back. It's wonderful. They just start raining on Thanos.
Yeah. And you knew they were all going to come back.
Uh-huh.
I mean, come on.
But it was triumphant.
You kind of the snap happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at that
I
point,
thought they were going to show up right then.
I mean, there was enough time that went by, you forgot.
You're like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
It wasn't on the forefront of my mind.
It wasn't.
I was like, how?
Like, when I was watching, I wasn't thinking,
where is everybody? Yeah.
Where are they at?
It was wonderful. Wonderfully crafted.
And
art.
Even after that, finally, Captain Marvel comes flying in and takes down the ship.
Yep. So the army is pretty deflated.
And it looks like she's going to take down Thanos.
It really does.
And so, meanwhile, during all this fight, they're trying to figure out how to get the stones back to the original spot. And they figure out that Scott Lang's quantum realm jumper, we'll call it, is still in his van that we see at the end of.
So they're trying to do that.
They're trying to just throw that Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, they're buying time.
Well, in the meantime, Thanos is just getting PO'd at this point.
He thinks he's really starting to see, wow, this could really not go my way.
They're not giving up.
So his burst of strength is coming back.
And he got the stones.
Yeah. So what happened is Captain Marvel has the gauntlet at this point.
Because it goes through hands. It goes through Bucky. It goes to Hawkeye. It goes from Hawkeye to Bucky.
No, to Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther.
To Peter. And then to
Bucky,
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it goes through a bunch of hands. They're just trying to keep it away from Thanos at this point.
Yeah, and
good old fashioned game to keep away.
Captain Marvel and Thanos meet each other now in combat, and she still has the gauntlet, and he, in a slight moment, I don't know if you've seen it, but he looked scared for a sec because he actually was trying to defeat Captain Marvel and headbutted her and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He's like, wow.
And he steals the gauntlet, and they're still fighting, and she tries to get it back, but at this moment he unwields the Power Stone from the gauntlet and holds it in the other hand just so that he can defeat her.
He throws a punch at her and she goes flying.
And
like 100
he gets
yards.
it on. Not fully.
And no, not fully. And then he puts the Power Stone back on the gauntlet, and Doctor Strange and Tony Stark look at each other. And Doctor Strange just puts up...
Oh, yeah, because Tony asks Doctor Strange, is this the 1 in 14 million where we do it?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, how is this going to go?
And like I was saying, they look at each other, and Doctor Strange just puts up the 1.
Signifying,
and
this is it.
Tony Stark just flies over to Thanos, and he actually gets hit, but...
He grabs the
stones.
Yeah.
Away from the camera view.
You don't know that he's got him. You don't know. It just looks like...
Thanos snaps, and nothing happens, and you're like, what the frick? He turns it around.
And he... And Thanos, before he snaps, says, I am inevitable. And snaps, and nothing happens. Well, it cuts over to Tony Stark,
and he stole the stones, and he's got the stones on his Iron Man suit.
And it's wielding the gauntlet, and you see all the powers flowing through his arm.
And you're thinking, how the frick is he wielding all 6 Infinity Stones?
And he goes...
When it almost killed Peter...
Yeah.
And he's a celestial being.
Yeah.
He's half planet. He's half God.
You mean Thanos?
Huh?
You mean Thanos?
No, Peter Quill. Star-Lord.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Is it Peter? It's Peter Quill, isn't
yeah.
I think so.
You just said Peter. I thought you meant Parker.
No. It's Quill.
Yeah, Peter Quill. Okay.
He wields an Infinity Stone barehanded and almost dies.
Yeah, you need
to share
the entire Guardians.
Yeah. So, you're like, how is he doing it? Well, anyways, he snaps.
No, but
the best
quote,
part.
The best part is
he's like,
goes,
I am.
Well, not as much
not
pausing,
as slow, but
yeah.
And then he snaps
for emphasis. I'm Iron Man.
Snaps, and
Thanos' army
wisps away.
And then Thanos sits down.
Yeah.
Realizes he's been defeated.
Yes.
And he wisps away.
And that's it for them.
They're defeated. They're gone.
And you're like, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. And then gut-wrenching pain happens again.
Yeah. Because Tony
in his might,
He
was too
dies.
much.
it
could not
about
handle
killed Thanos.
And Bruce.
And Bruce and Tony's
Voice
just
crack.
a human.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Tony, he's gone. This will be the last I
But
would
his
imagine that
legacy
we'll
is
see
not
of
forgotten.
alive Tony.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get some kind
probably.
of tidbits from him, but
Yeah.
he's done. Robert Downey's done.
Yeah. And it was, obviously it was just kind of a sad moment.
It was, but it's fitting
Yeah.
because Peter's like, we won.
He lost his father figure after.
Uh-huh.
Well, we never get to see this Peter have Uncle Ben, but Tony was his father figure
Yeah.
after Uncle Ben,
He was.
and he lost him too.
Yeah.
So
But-
at this point,
Well,
what gas you have left in the tank from watching this movie, you're on empty now.
yeah.
Your emotions have went through such a wide range that you're like, what's left?
Well, it's not over yet.
It ain't over at all. So obviously there's
This Tony Stark funeral. All the,
shows all the Avengers,
yeah.
all of them intact, all the people that Tony has touched or helped.
Yeah.
He's the guy who did it. Pepper's sad. Obviously, his daughter is sad. And you're just left to think, what's next? Where do they go from here? Well,
Well, they have to get the stones
they have
back.
to put the stones back for time to be restored to the correct timeline.
Yeah.
And any holes they might have caused, they're patched up.
And guess who volunteers?
It's our boy Steve Rogers, the Captain America. And you know what's coming.
At this point, yeah, you know what is coming.
Barking dog, sorry. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
He's not coming back.
No.
So 5 seconds.
That's all it was supposed to take.
For him, it could be as long as he wanted.
Yeah.
But in reality, Bruce Banner counts down from 5.
Hulk
Tries
Bruce.
to bring him back. Yeah, Hulk Bruce. Professor Hulk. And nada. Nobody comes back.
Well, folks, you got to realize he's Hulk the whole movie.
Yeah, he's
No,
Hulk.
yeah, he's Hulk the entire movie,
Uh-huh.
except for the one part where the Ancient One
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes him out of Hulk.
So Bucky kind of knows. Bucky knows.
Yeah.
Falcon doesn't. Sam?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, Falcon's like, where's he at? We got to get him back.
Yeah.
Well, Bucky walks away and you see somebody on a bench.
Yeah,
like-
a nearby bench.
And when I first thought it, my reaction was, is he pre-Captain America Steve Rogers?
Yeah, for a second you
He
didn't
looked
know.
frail.
You could tell he was slender.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, it was
It was old Steve.
it was like 90-year-old Steve.
So what had happened was Captain went back, was going to put the stones back where they were, and realized Tony was always telling him to get a life,
Yeah.
to go live a life. And he did. He stayed back in time with
Yeah.
love of his life, Margaret. They live happily ever after.
And actually, a shocking moment. Anthony Mackie
Is going to
is going to be the new Captain America. I always
I
thought
always
it was
thought
going to be Bucky.
Is that
Mhm.
official? That's
I think so. I mean, it sure seems like they passed the torch off to him.
well, he physically passed the shield,
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't know if that was official. He's gonna suit up and call himself Captain America,
I don't know. I would have to assume so.
or is he just gonna wield the shield?
He might not call himself Captain America at first, but I think he's going to be the
Captain
embodiment
Falcon.
of that character.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. And then Thor goes off on his own path.
Yeah, he
With
just
the Guardians.
he doesn't want to be king of Asgard,
Mm-mm.
so he goes with the Guardians.
Yeah.
Which is going to be surprising when the next Guardian movie comes out. Is he going to be in it?
I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of the movies to follow this, I could see significant time jumps happening.
Yeah, I know for sure. The Spider-Man movie is going to have probably a little bit of a jump.
Yeah.
Actually, I read that Spider-Man's supposed to
Be right after?
resume right after Endgame.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
In fact, they might even go a little bit more in depth on Peter's reaction and funeral. I think it starts from there. In fact, the technical end of this phase is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They're going to conclude the entire phase.
Phase 4.
Yeah, with Spider-Man. The true ending is Endgame, but they're going to wrap it all up.
Yeah. If you look at since the MCU started with the first Iron Man, this was the ending of that whole timeline.
Yeah. That was its own phase.
Yeah. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's next.
Truthfully, I can't really even begin to come up with any theories off the top of my head. Or
like I said,
obviously, I'm not to the point where I've read all the comics. I read the Civil War comics. I read a little bit of the Infinity War stuff, but not enough to truthfully know what happens.
Yeah.
Like I said, probably about 5 minutes in, the only character that I know of right now that could be the next quote-unquote Thanos would be Galactus. And for those who don't know, Galactus he gets his name because he's the size of a galaxy.
Physically?
Physically, he's the size of a galaxy.
Yeah, there's always going to be another villain.
Just don't know who yet.
Well, how do they ride the momentum?
That's the question.
I don't know. I think it'll end up
be a while.
It'll take a while.
It'll take a long time, but people are going to have to be patient because
now they're
going to be the same.
Yeah.
Because now who's going to be the
spearhead?
The leader? Like, it was Iron Man.
They're painting it to be Captain Marvel, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. But I haven't... full disclosure, I did not see anything but the post-credit scene of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I didn't actually see it either.
I just didn't have much incentive to go see it.
I can happily say
she's got very little
Marvel movie.
She's got very little screen time.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably not enough.
One of my biggest quarrels
to some people.
Yeah.
Was going into it. I really did not want a repeat of Justice League where Superman comes in and it's just easy. Because I had a feeling that Captain Marvel could have been the same. But it wasn't. She brought in... She's probably more powerful than Superman, to be honest. And she still had trouble.
Yeah, they did handle that well. Because obviously she could have just saved the day.
Yeah. She could have just
killed Thanos, basically.
She had
killed Thanos.
I'm sure she could have wielded the...
yeah.
She had an impact.
Infinity Gauntlet.
A big one.
And I think that's why she didn't have as much screen time. They didn't want to overbear people who might not know that she's actually that powerful. Because y'all don't know how powerful she was. I did because I watched the movie. And I was able to see her wield the powers that she had. But...
I don't know. I really have a hard time wondering who's going to spearhead. Honestly, it'll probably be the Guardians. I think they'll shoulder most of it. I think Doctor Strange and Ant-Man.
I think it'll be another start.
Spider-Man. Morgan?
I think it'll be Morgan.
Think they'll time jump in this next phase?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think they're just going to take a second and...
Yeah, it seems like they'll release 4 or 5 movies before another Avengers film.
Yeah, because they're slated to do Spider-Man: Far From Home, Doctor Strange 2,
Black Panther 2, Guardians 3.
They
have a bunch of movies.
I don't know if they have another Ant-Man slated yet.
I'm sure there will be an Ant-Man 3 at some point. I don't know what they'll do in Ant-Man 3.
The thing that Infinity War and this did extremely well is the tone of the dialogue fit whatever character was saying the words.
Yeah, it didn't feel out of place.
Yeah. And it fit with their standalone movies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Like,
because
It did.
Thor,
They brought their own twang, but it all fit
For
together.
those movies, you had a different crew making those movies.
Uh-huh.
This is the Russo
That's
brothers.
what I've always... The continuity in the MCU is
And I think
ridiculous.
a lot of it is... I think the people... It's the continuity. The people that made those movies are also working on this.
Uh-huh.
And the
That way they're all
They don't
collaborating.
change... They don't really change personality that much for the
yeah,
Avengers movie.
and like
No,
you're
they
saying, the jokes were perfect because
They always landed well.
Thor and Hulk are, and Mark Ruffalo Hulk, I will say, they're goofy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're just goofy.
Yeah.
They have been. So
I appreciated
yeah.
the Hulk in this.
Yeah, me too. I really did. That was my favorite Hulk performance of any of the Avengers.
Well, it
Well, it was
easily
it was
beat
nice because
Infinity War.
yeah.
Hulk.
Because
Well,
he couldn't be the Hulk. The Hulk
Yeah.
was scared.
It was Hulk for like 2 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, when he's in there fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
No,
what a
what-
great movie though.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 10 out of 10. 2 thumbs way up. Best film I've ever watched.
Yeah,
Cross genre.
I didn't know, like, for a while, it ended up being a lot better than it felt for a bit.
Yeah.
Because, like you were saying, there was 3 clear acts.
Mm-hmm.
They're very distinct too.
Yeah, they are.
I even
They're
looked at my watch, and it was like an hour. Oh,
in
next
each-
act.
Yeah.
And the second one was really good.
Second
and
one
third
was...
just epitomize the entire movie.
Yeah, the first one's kind of
Basically,
filler.
the
Now-
first one is like catch up / setting the
Setup,
scene.
yeah.
Second one's all the time travel. Third's the final act.
Mm-hmm.
And
The big battle.
you know, when you have a 3-hour long movie, it's gonna be hard at times to try to just continue your creativity on
And not waffle.
you're gonna
just
progress
add
the
in
story.
Stuff.
Yeah.
and
But
they did a
each
good job.
thing- each thing led to the next thing, and it
Yeah.
just
It felt the 3 hours was good. I'm glad it was because
Mhm.
it allowed
needed
more
it.
time for some things that needed to have more
I'm
time.
glad there's not a part 2.
Yes.
It needed the 3 hours, and they gave us
Like-
the 3 hours.
It really did.
Infinity War was not much shorter,
mm-mm.
but it
No, it was
felt
like
a
2
little.
and a half?
It
Something
felt
like that, yeah.
a little bit more rushed.
Yeah, it did.
Like things were just
we
progressing.
we
more
gotta
quickly.
get to the end.
This didn't really feel that way. It was the right pace.
It really
Yeah.
did. The movie felt paced. You never felt too slow, too fast. It just everything happened according to the best possible way it could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way in the second act, the way that pretty much every character got to tie up something that has happened in the last 10 years.
They did. They tied up all their loose ends.
Yeah.
All their bows nice and ready for
Yes.
Sunday service.
Yeah. So, yeah, the second act was good. Obviously, the third was
Tremendous.
because for a long. I mean, up until the whole first act, there's very little conflict.
Yeah.
Very little.
They're all kind of like
And then in the second,
recovering.
the conflict feels like it's just how are we going to time travel and get the stones? And then obviously in the third, there's an enormous amount of conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole entire battle with a huge army of, what are they called? The Centauri? The Centauri? It's something like that, but the army that he uses, the alien army.
Yeah.
I did not expect a full-on army. The bringing Thanos back in that way
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
It didn't feel predictable.
Yeah.
Now, I thought
it didn't.
with Nebula, using Nebula and having her be the avenue of which they come back, what I thought was they were going to do all of it in the time travel.
Yes.
I didn't know they were going to go back in time, bring it all to the future, and then Thanos would come with them.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to fight Thanos in the past.
And that was good because the
Like
predictable.
you thought they were gonna fight Thanos, Infinity War Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much thought they would be fighting Infinity War Thanos, and they were fighting
basically Back to the Future style. Go back and defeat him before he becomes what he became, which is not what happened.
They were trying. I thought they would go back in time and fight him when he didn't have the Infinity Stones, and almost like force him to turn it back.
Yeah.
But the way they did it was just, obviously, that's why people that got paid made a good movie.
Because, well, this one is more science-based than Back to the Future.
Yeah,
let's say.
it's not.
So they know that you can't... What?
Put compost into your car to power it, at the end of that. Yeah, the flux capacitor.
So they know, they being Tony Stark and Mark Ruffalo, because they're the scientists, you can't just go back in time and do something and it'll be fine in the future.
Yeah.
It's going to cause consequences that you can't change. So anything that has happened in that 5-year stretch from Thanos' snap to what will be the eventual fight, you can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be there. The only thing you can change is the people that were gone will be there again.
Yeah, they'll come back.
Yeah.
They won't.
The people who were on Earth,
be restored.
They're going to be 5 years older. There's nothing you can do about
it. Yeah.
And I didn't expect that.
I thought it either.
When they whisked away, or I thought when they reversed it, it would go back to where they were at.
Yeah.
And then no Thanos.
Yeah.
Like Thanos never happened. Not that it happened, and then they switched it.
Yeah.
And then they beat him present time.
Yeah. And I was glad that it worked out that way, because obviously the predictable thing would have been, we'll get the stones, and the movie, the whole struggle of the movie will be just a story of getting them.
No, they did a good job. They really did. Yeah. It exceeded even the most intense theories I had. Yeah. It exceeded any of those intense expectations.
Yeah.
Because with those movies, they're so dissected.
They are.
People love them. They get very good reviews, but
yeah,
they get dissected more than any other action.
So that's your favorite, maybe not just Marvel film, but film
ever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Marvel film.
That 100%. I think tomorrow I could change from being my favorite movie.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, in 15 years, it'll be clear what was the best.
Endgame? Well, first of all, I'll say, you know how comic book movies, they don't typically have a great Rotten Tomato score? Which I don't ever look at.
97%, right?
It was at 96 just now. So it did go down 1%, but it's at 96% Rotten Tomato score.
Well, I'm going to find those people that rated it down, and I'm going to go give them a piece of my mind.
It hasn't calculated the audience score yet, but I can only assume it's going to be 100.
It better be good.
The audience is generally always better than the critic score.
I always agree more with the audience than the critics.
Occasionally there'll be the opposite.
An outlier. Rare. Yeah. It's usually, for my opinion, I always agree with the audience. I barely am swayed by the reviews of movie critics.
Yeah.
I'm running out of gas.
I felt like we said everything we needed to.
We went through the whole synopsis, basically.
Yeah, we did. We gave a synopsis. I mean, I can't think of anything else that
happened that you need to know, or anything we can add.
Yeah.
Or talk about. I really did like all of the plot. I loved the way that the Avengers, or the Fallen Ones, came back.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is easily going to be my favorite hero of the next phase.
So I do need to say, because we didn't say this before, our Talking Dead moment for a second. Our in memoriam.
Yeah.
Vision is gone.
Yeah.
Old Gamora is gone. They brought a new the younger Gamora, and she will replace the old Gamora in Guardians. Tony, of course, and Scarlett Johansson. They are all gone. For
Not
sure.
whisked away.
They are
dead.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Their carcasses.
Now they could make another Vision if they had another Soul Stone.
But
or
they
not
don't have
Soul,
another
but-
Tony.
Well, they have Mark Ruffalo. He helped Tony, so I mean he still has the knowledge of it. Plus they have Shuri.
Yeah, that's right.
They have Shuri.
Yeah, and she's real smart.
Yeah, so I mean if they wanted another Vision they could, but they're not.
Best part of the film. There's an
Helicopter?
airplane.
Airplane.
There's a propeller airplane flying over. Best part of the film.
Iron Man, I am Iron Man.
I would
Snap.
say that
Actually,
snap, or when everyone starts coming through the...
I actually think my favorite moment is seeing Peter and Tony for the last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the epic return
Yeah.
of the heroes.
It's just so wonderful and didn't seem...
It was perfect.
It was the timing.
in every way.
Yeah, the timing, who they came, what sequence they came
Just
out in.
when the ultimate hero, that is Captain America, wills himself from being broken,
And then sees all the
and
reinforcements.
then just
And
everybody comes in and
Yeah.
they've fulfilled their plan and it's actually coming to fruition.
And no post-credit scene.
yeah.
Stan Lee's final
Oh, yeah,
appearance.
Stan Lee's final cameo. That was a good one. Was it back in the 50s?
70s.
70s.
70s, I mean. Yeah. He's in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he said.
He was yelling at somebody to get out of the road or whatever.
No, he was make peace not war or something like that along the lines of you're about to fall asleep.
Close.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I'm close.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal, folks. If you haven't seen it yet, then why'd you listen this far? If you have seen
That's a
it,
good question.
this has been our recap. It was a wonderful film. It was a good experience.
It was an insane experience. That
It
crowd.
was really awesome. Except
crazy.
for the air conditioning unit must have went out because it was hot as frick.
It was, yeah.
It was sweaty and everybody's heart rate was racing. It was.
The final act, for some reason, it was hot. As
Hot.
could be. I was sweating.
It's like they turned up the heat because they knew Thanos was there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Boom, 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 boom.
But guys, you have anything else to add?
No, I mean,
I don't.
I'm ready for the next one of these.
Me too.
I don't know when that's going to be.
Maybe July 5th? Spider-Man?
Is that July 5th?
July 5th, Spider-Man.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Yeah,
mean,
unless
that's
there's
plenty of
a
movies.
couple... Yeah, Lion King.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a
But
Lion
I mean,
King. You can't really spoil
You can't
the
really
Lion King.
spoil Lion King. There's not going to
Yeah.
be anything different.
No, it actually looks quite identical.
Yeah, in every way.
Just live action, quote unquote. My beard's a little longer, so if you hear the ruffling. I
All
forgot
right,
to-
we are at 1 hour and 18 minutes, and Dalton can barely keep his eyes open. So, thank you again for listening to episode 16, our Avengers Review. Welcome back, Dolan. Peace.
Goodbye.